Stop me if you've heard this one. This year has been an eventful one. Actually, I'm just gonna stop myself. Of course it has. My moments of respite are few and far between. What with putting videos together, writing scripts. DK straight up destroyed my intro, so I gotta fix that now too. But in my downtime, I've played a few games that have brightened my day, helped me unwind, and drown out the world around me. Some of them I felt so strongly about, I wanted to talk about them a little bit in a video. So I took 5 games that came out in or around 2025, wrote some stray thoughts, and I'm presenting them to you now. These were my rock, my happy place, the games that kept me sane. Now, I'm fully aware this is a video about games that kept me sane, and yet Anton Blast is pure madness. But games like these can also be my happy place. Taking Wario Land 4 and mixing in Crash Bandicoot and Earthworm Jim, with a dash of vintage whacked out Cartoon Network shows. More of this in the modern day, please. I will say the action can get so over the top, it can be hard to keep track of it all. A lot of times I'm doing one thing and then the game throws me into a new mechanic and I just gotta learn on the fly. I usually adjusted pretty quickly, but it can be a lot to take in, and sometimes I wouldn't know where I was or where I was going. For crazier bits, I'd often be equal parts involved in being on autopilot, especially during happy hour where 3 out of the 5 senses are just assaulted full blast. There's hardly a dull moment here, and sometimes I dig when a game's MO is being loud and obnoxious. Just having the game's logo explode in your face with that Earthworm Jim cow sound, that had me sold from the demo alone. Still, I think Anton's best in short bursts, cause doing all this for an hour, I got wiped, even though it was still fun to play. And I know you can tone down the screen shake and stuff in the options, but I didn't want to. I mean, not even the Switch itself can keep up half the time, but honestly, I just found that funny. My favorite bits were the boss fights. I think the insanity works best in this context. Plus, the bosses all have super wild designs and are so much fun to smack around. Especially the mole mini-bosses, they always got a big laugh out of me. Like, Brawlbuster here is just so ready to take me out with a chair while I'm down, yet he totally botches it and I get the win anyway. Taking a page from Grandpa Ghostal, I see. But yeah, Anton Blast, fun time. May cause heart palpitations. Up next, we've got Donkey Kong Bonanza's Emerald Rush DLC. I'm gonna count this as a separate title cause 1, I didn't talk about it in my Bonanza review since it had just been announced back then, and 2, cause it's basically a whole new game. I was a tad skeptical going in due to that asking price, which in Canadian dollars put me in debt, but you know what? For me, it was worth it. I've played this mode for well over 30 hours, which other games I've played from start to finish often don't hit that mark. I can't recall the last time I played a side mode literally just for the love of the game. There's some more outfits you can nab, some extra story bits, but it wasn't a deal breaker, especially once I got that stuff out of the way. I just wanted to keep playing and playing, like they should have just called this Dopamine Rush. Half a day went by from me trying out different layers and thinking of strategies for the best run or making things up on the fly. It even gave me newfound appreciation for moves I hardly used in the main game, and this mode is Zebra Bonanza's true spotlight. I mean, I didn't even know about that drill move, but I'll find some fun uses for that. And no matter how many times I botched a run, the only thing I thought afterwards was, alright, let's go again, this run will be the one, I can feel it! This fed the addictive part of my brain I swore I left behind with Pokemon's Game Corners. And those timed events, oh, not only do I get to keep playing Bonanza, but I can also get trophies of characters spanning all of Donkey Kong's history? Yes, please! I'm one of those nut jobs who wanted to see some Jungle Beat stuff make a comeback, so it goes without saying I'm a very happy camper right now. Bonanza alone was an all-time favorite game contender, but with Emerald Rush, there's absolutely zero doubt. I mean, a combined total of 120 plus hours into one game? I darn well better like it! So this is the only game on the list that didn't release anywhere close to 2025, but you know, that was when it finally saw an international release, so I'm throwing it on here. My video, my rules. Game Freak's non-Pokemon titles have always interested me, and at the start of 2025, I played Yoshi on NES, which I heard wasn't great, but I played it for a good half hour, which soon turned into 3 and had a good time anyway. But Mario and Wario piqued my interest the moment I saw it referenced in Gen 1 Pokemon, and I know I could have emulated it, but I'm lazy when it comes to that stuff. But seeing the release trailer for NSO, I thought, now's my chance! The title's a bit misleading cause Mario's not the only playable character and Wario's hardly in it. There's no final boss fight with him either, which kinda sucks, but to be fair, it wasn't something I really thought about while I played. Kinda like Yoshi, this didn't blow me away, yet I still got pretty engrossed with it. And playing with a USB mouse was cool too. Mostly responsive and brought me back to playing Flash games on YTV.com, Nick.com, or something at the school computer lab. I also liked how even when puzzles got more complex, the game was pretty laid back throughout. Only a few stages had me look up the solution online. The last world especially had me up the wall. Special mention also goes out to the soundtrack by Junichi Masuda. The Waterworld theme put me in a state of zen I didn't expect going into this. I also felt like I got a crash course on game design as I played, cause I'd go, ah, that's clever, I see what you're doing, when they introduced a new gimmick or built on an old one. Pokemon creator Satoshi Tajiri directed this, and having read up on how he made games back in the day, well, it's just nice seeing that in something other than Pokemon. This game's a great mix of keeping you involved while still being easygoing, and save states made this much easier to pick up and play. There's no built-in save feature, and given the first 8 out of 11 worlds can be played in any order, the intent was probably for casuals to play whatever they felt like on a given day. But if you were a real game freak, you could try beating it in one sitting, which on original hardware? Yeah, not happening. Kudos to the madman who did that though. But I'm happy to have finally played this. Like, I just smile thinking about the fact I tried it and enjoyed myself. Tajiri and crew weren't setting the world on fire with this or anything, they just made a fun little game, and sometimes that's enough. You know, it's funny how I was yearning to play Game Freak's non-Pokemon stuff, but just before I beat Mario and Wario, Legend Z came out and consumed all my free time. Like the last few sets of Pokemon games before it, I shut out all the naysayers and played it for myself to see what I thought. That said, there's usually slight apprehension if a new Pokemon game will grab me, but I got sucked in like I always do. I still haven't grown out of the phase of playing a Pokemon game in bed long after I should have been asleep, and it being the first thing I do when I wake up. Comparing it to Legends Arceus, I still think I like Arceus more, but I do like how these games do different things, and each one has their own strengths. There's a couple things I miss from the main series, like the surprise of evolving Pokemon. Sure, it's convenient doing it whenever you want, but it's also magical seeing Pokemon change form and not knowing when it'll happen. In that instance, I don't want to sacrifice that sense of wonder for the sake of convenience. I was also kinda pining for random encounters when I killed a shiny Bellsprout and didn't even see the thing until it was too late. First time that's ever happened, and it is a bad feeling, man. The universe threw me a bone with this shiny Badoo I found later, but it still sucks. Also, did anyone else know you could heal mid-battle? I sure didn't until after the credits rolled and I brought up the menu by accident. No NPC says you can do that, so I basically played this in hard mode and lost quite a few battles, including 2 with a rival. One fight I had to straight up forfeit, but that's cause I had a Friendship Evolution Mon on my team and didn't want them to get hurt. Though it was kinda cool how the story kept going even after I lost. So after 50 plus hours of walking around, completing the base decks, filling out Mabel's research, and getting some closure on X and Y, I'd say this was a worthwhile purchase. I'll save that DLC for another day though. With that price tag, I could get a haircut, and at the time I'm writing this, I've put that off far too long. Historically, I've had little stake in the Shinobi franchise, yet Art of Vengeance really caught my eye. Its reveal was one of the few highlights of the Lame Awards that year, but I kinda forgot about it till I was helping edit a Shinobi retrospective for Matt McMuscles. And yes, that's his real name. Just seeing snippets of it in action coupled with its lovely art style had me chomping at the bit to give it a go. And it was great to see I could get it on PS4. I've been stupid adamant about not taking the PS5 plunge till I see Sly Cooper 5 on that thing, and the fact PS4 is still getting cool stuff ain't helping matters. Art of Vengeance is a perfect platformer Metroidvania hybrid, and typically Metroidvanias scare me when I start one just cause I'm worried about getting lost. That didn't really happen here though, and when I did veer off somewhere, the generous amount of checkpoints got me back on track. The only issue I had was the map showing an abyss like it was an unexplored area, so I'd go there just to get nothing out of it. But that was the only real problem I had with the game. I felt the difficulty was just right, with some seriously fun gauntlets that got me into the old one more try mindset. And getting through them, I felt like $1,000,000, the same feeling I get playing a tough Donkey Kong Country level. The Onko Rift stages also reminded me of the Land of the Living Dead from Rayman Origins. The overall look took me right back to that final challenge. I didn't find boss battles that tough, even though most of them killed me at least once, but when I figured out their patterns and got creative with Joe's moves and combos, they were always fun to slap around. I also liked the game's overall tone. It takes itself just seriously enough, but it can still crack jokes, and it plays on the rule of cool, like seeing ninjas on surfboards, that'll never go out of style. Most of the bad guys have pretty generic dialogue, but I still enjoyed all their threats. Sometimes you need a good "you'll regret the day you were born" or "I'll kill you nice and quick," and the voice casts deliver these lines expertly. I had so much fun with Shinobi, I 100%ed it, and with Metroidvanias especially, I don't do that often. But with the fair challenge and easy navigation, I knew I could after getting like 80% of everything casually. It was great using my PS4 as a game machine again, and now I want to try out Lizard Cube's other games and maybe go down the Shinobi rabbit hole a bit more. And there you have it. Those are the brand new games I played in 2025 that really spoke to me. Honestly, those were the only new games I played, but it was a serious case of quality over quantity, and these were all pretty quality. Even if Mario & Wario's Last World had me take Tajiri's name in vain. There's quite a few other games I wanted to try this year that I haven't gotten to yet, but I'll see what sticks with me in the year to come and beyond. Let me know what some of your favorite 2025 games were, and be sure to do all the usual stuff I usually go on about at the end here. And if you feel like supporting me further, feel free to check out the Patreon page. Speaking of which, I'd like to give a shout out today to Lars Niswant and Munchie598 for their support. Really does mean more than you know, guys. Thanks ever so much. And with all that said, I will see you guys next time. Later!